Well, here we are right back again. This is Legacy of Leaders. I'm your host, Jamar Suber. And as you know, I talk to amazing entrepreneurs who push us to go higher. And today I'm with Kyle Sale of Airspace. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. I really appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. In this day of logistics, we have airspace. It's very competitive. Who's cutting edge technology? Talk to us about airspace and the difference your company's making in logistics.
Absolutely. So when you bring that up, airspace is doing something rather incredible. I talk about this all the time when I'm in calls, and I'm trying to let people know is that when we're done, no one's going to be able to operate less than airspace. Yeah. They've literally taken a legacy industry directly into the future by allowing you the ability to be empowered instead of having to call and wait and people don't arrive, you have no visibility into where the material that you're looking for is. You're able to book it in less than 60 seconds and have somebody on their way to pick that up. So if we can save you an hour on the front end, we're saving hours on the back end for that critical delivery.
Yeah, and I definitely understand. Some years ago, I ran a technology company, and we did importing and exporting between Canada and Taiwan. And it was a headache. It was a headache, and I felt blind. How has airspace taken the blinders off the consumer from end to end?
So what they've done, that's a great question. What they've done is increased visibility by having you have real-time updates directly to your computer, your tablet, or your phone. Airspace is operating out of California. Our headquarters is in Carlsbad, California. European HQ is in Amsterdam, and we've actually just opened an office in Penang. So really the sun never sets on airspace now. And so when you need to get something moving and there's customs issues, there's how do I get into this facility? Is the cargo facility going to be open at the time I arrive? Airspace takes care of all of that for you.
Man, that's amazing. What has been the difference? When we think of logistics, we think of Amazon. Maybe get it tomorrow, same day, maybe 15 days. Sometimes we don't know. Tell us about the place of visibility. How has it become so easy for us to access the information on a logistics standpoint?
I really feel like this comes from the digital transformation that we're seeing. So every company we see out there is moving towards advancing technologies and enhanced data capture. So Airspace, as a data company, is also the global freight forwarder, is also a driver network in the States. So it's really a trifecta of things to give you visibility into if our drivers are picking up your package and they've got that phone, you can see that driver within 3 feet of their exact location. Hey, what's he doing at Starbucks? Bring me one.
Yeah, absolutely. You had shared about just kind of a case study type of situation where you had a very large client, thousands of counter-to-counter in a year from one point to the other, orders with your company. What was that at the average time? Talk to us about that.
No, absolutely. Thank you. Another great question is, so for Airspace, what we've done, again, is by empowering people. I'll give an example of how this industry's kind of operated. So it's kind of been relatively stagnant from a technology standpoint for the last 30 years. Everybody's been doing it the same way, meaning that if you were to call up and you need to get a shipment moving, you'd say, hey, Kyle, I need to get this moving from Florida to Teterboro, New Jersey as fast as possible. What can you do? I'd say absolutely no problem. I'd hang up the phone. It's scramble time. You're looking for drivers. You're calling the airline. You're making sure there's space. Is it narrow body? Is it wide body? Can I fit it on the plane? What's the best routing? Is there traffic? What Airspace has done is empowered the customers to where we've directly, using data and advancing technologies in our AI platform that has over 11 patents, we've been able to directly integrate to these airlines and directly integrate to our drivers. And so what this is doing is now, the example you gave, we had a customer move over, and this is very normal for Airspace, over 6,000 counter-to-counter shipments from point A to point B and the flight in between just last year, and our average time to dispatch was 3.7 minutes.
Amazing.
So if we're able to, one, give you the power to book that shipment yourself within less than 60 seconds, and then two, have somebody on the way in less than 4 minutes, again, we are saving time and ensuring that those critical parts are getting there as fast as possible. Airspace really operates in the less than 13-hour transit time space. So not tomorrow, not the Amazons, not the FedExes, just more of the expedite. I need this as fast as possible.
Wow, that's amazing. You guys are already doing one heck of a job in logistics. What's the future look like for transportation?
So that I'm very passionate about. So the future of transportation to me, and this is kind of what got me to airspace. I spent about almost a decade in corporate aviation. I got picked up out of school, but in 2014 I actually competed for the business team at the college, and I pitched integrating unmanned aerial systems into current business models as a mock consultancy. Now, back then, the FAA wasn't there. The technology available to the civilian sector wasn't there. Yeah. Fast forward to 2022, I go back to school for my master's. I'm actually, I just finished another class on Sunday, so I'm 60% complete. Yeah. Unmanned systems is going to be the future of logistics. And so I went searching for some powerful transportation experience, and I found airspace. And while airspace doesn't do drones yet, they are the bleeding edge of technology for the time-critical logistics space. What I envision as the future will be you'll be able to pick up your phone, book a delivery, and it will be a drone coming as fast as possible as the crow flies, landing, picking up that package, and getting it where it needs to go as fast as possible.
Wow. So all these things we've been seeing over the years, the Jetsons and all this other stuff, it's coming to pass.
It's coming to pass. Yeah. You've got companies like Zipline that have done over 4 million vaccine deliveries in Ghana. An unmanned drone takes off every 4 minutes. Just to do these deliveries. And that's something I think that we're going to see in the States really start to blow up, because the FAA has finally started to get out of their own way. They do a great job of regulating the airspace and keeping everything moving, but making change has always been something that's taken a long time. We're just starting to see those changes come to fruition, where they're granting beyond visual line of sight waivers. A great example would be, never in the history of ever has a non-military unmanned aerial vehicle gotten a type certificate from the FAA. Matternet's M2 delivery drone just got one last year. Wow, this blows it wide open. Companies, there are other companies that are getting their Part 135, meaning they can do revenue generating operations and move material and conduct commercial business. It's happening right now. You look at Walmart has just done 20,000 drone deliveries. And so I see the future of transportation being something in the fact that that flight path, if we need to get this moving, we don't need to necessarily use a car on the ground. We can, obviously we can do the commercial flight for the long path in between, but when that lands at that cargo facility, it's going to be drones picking up the material and getting it to the final mile delivery.
Wow. Kyle, that's amazing, man. I'm glad you came onto the show. Thank you for bringing airspace to Legacy of Leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Great to meet you.
If you want to learn more about Kyle and airspace, please log on to dailynewsnetwork.com. You've just watched Legacy of Leaders, and I'm your host, Jamar Suber.